All right, we're going to start going over Northern Europe. This is chapter 15. Section 1 covers the physical geography. Although located at high altitudes, Norway and the rest of Northern Europe have surprisingly mild temperatures. All the countries of Northern Europe are located on seas and oceans. As a result, they benefit from ocean currents that bring warm water north and keep the climate reasonably warm. The physical features: from Ireland's gently rolling hills to Iceland's icy glaciers and fiery volcanoes, Northern Europe is a land of great variety. Because of this variety, the physical geography of Northern Europe changes greatly from one location to another. Two regions, the British Isles and Scandinavia, make up Northern Europe. To the southwest lie the British Isles, a group of islands located across the English Channel from the rest of Europe. Northeast of the British Isles is Scandinavia, a region of islands and peninsulas in far northern Europe. The island of Iceland to the west is often considered part of Scandinavia. Hills and mountains. Rough, rocky hills and low mountains cover much of northern Europe. Rugged hills stretch across much of Iceland, northern Scotland, and Scandinavia. The jagged Chulun Mountains on the Scandinavian peninsula divide Norway from Sweden. The rocky soil and uneven terrain in these parts of northern Europe make farming there difficult. As a result, fewer people live there than in the rest of northern Europe. Farmland and plains. Fertile farmland and flat plains stretch across the southern parts of the British Isles and Scandinavia. Ireland's rolling green hills provide rich farmland. Wide valleys in England and Denmark also have plenty of fertile soil. Effects of glaciers. Slow-moving sheets of ice or glaciers have left their mark on Northern Europe's coastlines and lakes. As you can see on the map, Norway's western coastline is very jagged. Millions of years ago, glaciers cut deep valleys into Norway's coastal mountains. As the glaciers melted, these valleys filled with water, cutting deep fjords. A fjord is a narrow inlet of the sea set between high rocky cliffs. Many fjords are very long and deep. Norway's Sognu Fjord, for example, is over 100 miles or 160 kilometers long and more than 3/4 of a mile or 1.2 kilometers deep. Melting glaciers also carved thousands of lakes in northern Europe. Sweden's Lake Vänern, along with many of the lakes in the British Isles, were carved by glaciers thousands of years ago. Natural resources. Natural resources have helped to make Northern Europe one of the wealthiest regions in the world. Northern Europe's primary resources are its energy resources, forests and soils, and the surrounding seas. Energy. Northern Europe has a variety of energy resources. Norway and the United Kingdom benefit from oil and natural gas deposits under the North Sea. Hydroelectric energy is produced by the region's many lakes and rivers. In Iceland, steam from hot springs produces geothermal energy, or energy from the heat of Earth's interior. Forest and soils. Forest and soils are two other important natural resources in Northern Europe. Large areas of timber-producing forests stretch across Finland and the Scandinavian peninsulas. Fertile soils provide rich farmland for crops such as wheat and potatoes. Livestock like sheep and dairy cattle are also common. Seas and oceans. The seas that surround Northern Europe are another important natural resource. For centuries, the North Sea, the Norwegian Sea, and the Atlantic Ocean have provided rich stocks of fish. Today, fishing is a key industry in Norway, Denmark, and Iceland. Climate. Notice that much of the region lies near the Arctic Circle. Due to the region's high latitude, you might imagine that it would be quite cold during much of the year. In reality, however, the climates in Northern Europe are remarkably mild. Northern Europe's mild climates are a result of the North Atlantic Drift, an ocean current that brings warm, moist air across the Atlantic Ocean. Warm waters from this ocean current keep most of the region warmer than other locations around the globe at similar latitudes. Much of Northern Europe has a marine west coast climate. Denmark, the British Isles, and western Norway benefit from mild summers and frequent rainfall. Snow and frost may occur in winter, but do not usually last long. Central Norway, Sweden, and southern Finland have a humid continental climate. This area has 4 true seasons, with cold, snowy winters and mild summers. Far to the north are colder climates, subarctic regions, like those in northern Scandinavia, have long, cold winters and short summers. Iceland's tundra and ice cap climates produce extremely cold temperatures all year. In summary, Northern Europe has many different physical features, natural resources, and climates. Next, we will learn about the history and the culture of the British Isles.